a pleasure to talk to investors. I'd also note that I am a CFA charter holder as well, although not part of the New York Society. So it's always great to talk to CFA charter holders. So we have a limited amount of time to talk about projects today. I thought I would start by talking about why we standard set as a reminder for everyone. Before going into an overview of a number of our projects, I'm only going to focus on 4 or 5 today in detail in the slides. Those are the ones that are closest to fruition or where you'll see them, or where they're really important projects that are essential for investors to be weighing in and giving us feedback. So I wanted to highlight those and make sure we make you aware of what we're doing and participating in that process. So without further ado, why don't we move on to the next slide? So the why we standard set, the foundation, the IFRS Foundation was started to develop in the public interest, high quality, globally accepted accounting standards. We've done that since 2005. And now we work to promote the use of those standards and ensure the rigorous application of them as well. We do those for a range of size of companies, everywhere from some of the very smallest companies that use what's called IFRS for SMEs, up to some of the biggest companies in the world, which are using the full book.
So Zach, given that mission, probably most are aware, given that we are a U.S. audience here, of the SEC Chair Atkins' speech. I'm not going to quote it, but what was your reaction to his comments around the IASB and the standard setting process and the funding process that it goes through, recognizing that we believe, the IASB and the IFRS continues to be, a high quality set of accounting standards?
So I'll probably start with that last statement. I think, the board has worked really hard to make sure we continue to develop the highest quality standards we can. We are firmly focused on financial materiality and making sure we're creating financial statements that are relevant to investors. We've been working hard at that. I hope we're successful. I think we're successful. But the context of the comments, for those that aren't aware, was the foundation had announced a restructure, essentially going through COVID. When we emerged from that, we had created a second board that focused on sustainability disclosures. But the pace of donations and earned revenue that the foundation had not kept up with expenses. As people know, there's been high cost inflation around most of the world. The UK, where the IASB is based, was not immune to that. And the donations simply didn't keep pace. In fact, revenue was slightly down for the IASB. So as a board member whose livelihood depends on that earned revenue and the contributed revenue, I was excited to hear the call for sustainable funding. I think it's something the trustees of the board of the foundation share and are looking for. And we hope to see some action. I know the trustees just met in October, and they're working on a sustainable funding plan to close that gap between revenue and expenses for the IASB.
That's great. And that answers it for me. So maybe on to the next slide.
Okay, great. So why do we promote IFRS accounting standards? Really, the effects are what we're looking for here. And I won't walk through all the effects on this slide, but IFRS provided a common accounting language for investors so that they could really focus on what I think of as a bilingual accounting world now. You've got US GAAP in the US, you've got IFRS accounting standards in most of the rest of the world, where you're able to look at companies and come to an investment conclusion quickly because you don't have to spend the time figuring out what is the accounting in this country or that country, or simply focus on one country in your analysis. And the research we have bears that out. You see higher coverage of companies by foreign analysts. You see more inbound investments coming in the form of mutual fund ownership. And most importantly, companies that take the time to convert to IFRS accounting standards see their cost of equity go down, which is really what this is all about. How do you get capital flowing in and make sure you get the best valuation on your stock by being transparent, by providing things in a common language?